We now have a quorum. Good morning, everyone, online and in the room. I don't have any announcements, so Dorothy, start us off with attendance, please.
Dorothy Banaszewski, Facilities Construction.
Michael Guida, CORC.
Holly Hahn, Office of the General Counsel.
Michael Tubiolo, Facilities Construction.
David Porter, CORC.
Barbara Myers, Construction Purchasing.
Jan Porter.
Over here.
Michael O'Neill, Proctor Construction.
Remini Ray, Randolph Construction Group.
Tom Jacobison, Warren Smith.
John Levinson, REL Enterprises, representing Fort Smith and Ziskovich Architect.
Bob Bliss, Office of Inspector General.
James Farrell, Facilities Construction.
Jacob Katz, Pirtle Construction.
Rosanna Patricia, Netta Architects.
Chad Adams, Facilities Construction.
George Perez, Facilities Construction.
Sean Bauer, CORC Construction.
Sheree Pavlik, White's Construction.
Simran Walgray, White's Construction.
Okay, Dorothy, why don't you ask the people online and let them announce themselves?
Okay, we have John Cheshire.
Present.
Michael Gelfand.
Present.
Sam Shannon.
Present.
Virginia Ferris.
Here.
And for the school board, we have Alexandria Ayala.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Yeah. All right. Anyone with a conflict of interest today or anyone that's been approached by a lobbyist as a member of CORC? All right, hearing none, we have no conflicts. CORC report, Judd, you had done that and sent that on. I guess that was accepted by the board office.
I think I did.
All right, Michael, we're up to staff updates.
Okay.
Well, I'll start off.
Go ahead.
For everybody's information, Dorothy will be approaching her 30th year with the school district this coming Sunday. So congratulations for and endurance to the school.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We're looking for 30 more, Dorothy.
As she puts in her drop papers.
Yeah.
So we're thick into the summer work. We've gotten a lot of projects going as schools ended, and that'll be that way for the next few months. Really getting a lot of work done while there's not as many students. As you know, our schools never stop. There's always summer programs and summer schools and things like that. We also have over the summer a couple training sessions for our staff for the operations group. We're working on some SREF training. SREF is the code that governs educational facilities in Florida, and we have 3 upcoming sessions for that. We also have one called CEPTED, and CEPTED is a crime prevention through environmental design class. So we have, that's over June and July. So there's some really good training opportunities for our staff. And other than that, we're just trying to mix it in with our summer work, so.
Questions for staff updates? All right, public comments. Any public comments? Yes, sir.
You know, today's a pretty special day for those of you who may not know. It's D-Day, and it's the 80th anniversary, and we're about to lose the last of the participants in that. So if we could just take a minute to remember them.
Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, let's get on consent agenda. Work members, FC1, FC2, FC3,
I'd like to pull that.
okay,
Pull that too, John.
okay,
Gelfand pulls it also, please. Thank you.
got it. PC1, PC2,
Yes, I'd like to pull that, John.
PC3, PC4. I wanted that one.
Move the items not pulled on CORC agenda.
A second?
Second.
Second by Sam. Any comments, discussion? Dorothy Polis, please.
David Porter.
Yes.
John Cheshire.
Yes.
Michael Gelfand.
Yes.
Michael Guida.
Yes.
Sam Shannon.
Yes.
Virginia Ferris.
Yes.
Okay, let's start off with Mike Guida on FC3.
All right, Doris, if you could pull it up and go to page, I guess, page 17. And it says on the materials, under materials, it shows the number of gallons, 700, 1,400, and 100 gallon for different types of paint. And the price per gallon. And then if you go to the couple pages down, few pages down, where it shows a quote from Sherwin-Williams, one more page. Right there, it says, I don't know if that's five, it says a Rex number is 5 gallons. So is it $60 for a 5-gallon bucket to get up to 700 gallons? Or is it $65 for 1 gallon, which seems kind of absorbent for me, unless it's that epoxy paint. So the question is that 65 for 5 gallons or 65 for a gallon? And I don't know who's the PM for that.
It would look like it should be for the 5-gallon bucket.
That's what it looks like to
I
me.
believe it is for the 5-gallon bucket, and this did go through, exhaustive review back and forth with our fair and reasonable third party as well. And then we had, because of the expedition, he didn't comment anything on these prices here. But we had a couple other comments that we resolved, and then we had it.
So would it be $12 a gallon then? I take the 60 divided by 5?
I believe so, but I
Mike, I'm reading I think the error is on the one that's the Jasper Enterprises where they say $60 per gallon. I think it should have said $60 per 5-gallon bucket. That's the error. They put down per gallon. It really wasn't per gallon. I think the Sherwin-Williams page is the correct page. $60 a gallon would be the most high-end paint you could buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think we're using that high-end Palm Beach paint on a school.
Okay.
So I think that's the error.
I agree with that, but I think we can follow up with the Seymour and give you a better answer next month.
Okay.
That it, Mike? For you?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, John Cheshire.
Yes, Dorothy, could you bring up the responses to the questions? I guess we can follow along on that.
Okay.
Right there, yeah. My concern on this one was that it was bid under the CM, and the CM is charging $100,000 just to manage this 10-week project. I felt it should have been bid out separately, and I'd just like to have a little bit of discussion with staff regarding that, why it wasn't.
So we have some of our projects we go through as a pullout and we bid directly with our paint contractors. They're pretty overstaffed and trying to keep up. So some of them we do with our CMs. This particular all-in cost, we just completed a sister school, which is the exact same floor plan a few months prior. And this cost was actually all less than what the painters did. So we use that as a comp. These projects are heavy management intensive because you have to have somebody there or else you'll end up with your light switches painted and paint all over the floor and you have to move furniture. And so there is a lot of labor involved with running these paint projects.
And why didn't you pull it out and bid it as a separate contract though?
Our paint contractors are pretty booked up and our MMPO staff is booked up trying to manage these. And since we had a contractor there, work, and we decided to go through the CM. And when the pricing came in less than even straight through our painting contract, it seemed like a no-brainer to us to go forward with it.
Okay, one other thing, I didn't see the review from your third party on the pricing.
This was the one, yeah, so we compared this with, I don't know why it's not in here. I reviewed this one. We had to get this going to meet the summer requires, and our actual contract allows me to review these, our policies. So I reviewed it and compared it with the costs for the other schools, and they competitively bid it. So that's what we substituted in the fair and reasonable. You can see my email in the package. What page is that, Dorothy?
Page 7.
Page 7.
Right, I see they only received 2 bids.
Yeah.
And I thought I just heard Judd say that there was a third party review of this done.
They did review it. It was getting hung up over a very minor item that had nothing to do with pricing. So in order to expedite, we had to go around him because it was basically semantics, and he didn't want to proceed with a fair and reasonable over a few $100s. So we had to get it going. So we had Michael review it as a secondary review.
And the reason it wasn't included in the original CM contract work was?
When we first did the project, I don't know when that first started. I wasn't around then, but the painting was not clearly identified. It's under our interior improvements, and there's a lump sum there. So some of that work was being done with the painting program, and some was being done by the CM. So that's probably why it wasn't included, that we're going to do it as a pullout. We were doing all of them as pullout projects through MMPO. They just got overwhelmed with the too many projects. So they pushed some of those back to us and said, if you can include it with your CMs, please do that. We'll keep going with our pullout program, but we're getting behind and struggling trying to keep up with it. So that's why we looked at this one, bringing it back in under the CM and doing it that way. So on our new FCA projects that haven't started yet, that have painting and on the blue sheets, we do it with the CM. On the stuff that's old, MMPO takes care of it. And then you have the in-between stuff that we're making calls on that have already started, whether to keep it with the CM or go through MMPO. So this is one of those in-betweens. And when we got the pricing back, it was less than what we paid for a similar school, the exact school actually. So we decided, let's keep it with the CM and let them management, because it's less effort on the district side for the CM to be there all that time than have district staff checking up on the painters every day.
Well, I understand that, but I don't know if I agree with you. $100,000. You could have put a guy out there full time for $100,000, but I guess that's beside the point. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to vote for it. So that's all I had.
All right, Michael Gelfand.
So to follow up on that, and whoever raised it in the inquiries beforehand, John, thank you or otherwise. I have a lot of problems with a project of this size not being bid. It may have turned out correctly in the end, but from the purpose of oversight and transparency, a job of this size must be bid.
It was bid. We got competitive numbers and we went with the low bid on the paint side.
How many bids did we get?
We ended up getting 2.
You know, are we just getting that number of bids on other schools where we have this?
It all depends. I mean, it depends on the relationship of the contractors and painters, and we'd like to get as many bids as we can, obviously, to this one we happen to get 2.
I just got to say, I'm still very troubled by this and the amount. And, you know, I've mentioned it before with lower cost projects where they been moved forward without a large number of bids. I'm just going to think about this for a little bit.
Yeah, but Michael, what would we have done? You got 2 bids, it went out to bid. It wasn't like we had 8 people interested. Do you then not do the project? If you try to rebid it, everybody's still busy out there. So it may have been a project that just didn't fit somebody else's schedule, so they decided not to bid.
And again, just a few months earlier, we got other competitive bids on the exact same school, just a different location that came in higher than this one. So that's why we feel comfortable that it's a really good number.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. This is Leanne. If I could chime in just a little bit. The school district has an initiative going forward to do a lot of painting, and we are having trouble finding painting companies willing to do the work. So at this point, we're going out and constantly looking for new vendors to do it. And when we bid it out separately, apart from these big projects, we're only getting 2 vendors to come and walk the schools and give us a price. So it really is an issue across the county, just finding enough companies to do the painting work. We're painting exteriors and interiors. So whenever we can use the CM and they can get a price that's on par with what we're seeing when we bid things out separately, and the CM is putting it out and bidding it among subcontractors, oftentimes they have different vendors than we have on contract. So it spreads the work around a little bit more. And as long as they're coming up with something in line with what we're seeing in our other bids. So the CM is bidding it through subcontractors, or we're bidding it out as prime companies that are going to just do painting. And we're seeing the same type of rates for everything. I don't know if that helps answer your question at all or not, but we're having issues just getting painting companies that we have on bid coming in to provide bids for different projects. So we can bring other companies in through the CM. It helps us get the work done faster.
John Cheshire?
Yeah, I did notice, I thought I saw in this one that this CM only asked 4 other painters for a price and he received 2. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I saw. And regarding the point about compared to the other schools, I just wish I would have seen something other than a statement that, yeah, it's fair and reasonable. If it came from AECom, it would have been nice to see. I would have accepted it, but without backup that this is similar to another project and a similar size, it's just it's a hard pill to swallow here. $100,000 extra. I just wish he would have gotten more bids. Well, why didn't he go out and ask 50 painters for a price? He just limited it to his 4, I believe it said in here.
Well, I think the pool is, as Leanne said, is pretty limited of who can handle this size of the scope and the time frame. We didn't want to extend this into the school year, so that's why we're getting this going over the summer. You can get a mom and pop shop that may not have but they have to have the right insurance, they have to have the right requirements, and they have to be able to do the work. So your pool's kind of limited.
Anything else on this? Any other questions, comments?
We're actually 4 subcontractors that they requested bids from. They only received 2 bids back.
Right.
Perhaps this is a divergent track, but are we doing anything continuing to try to encourage small contractors, small subs? And we used to have an education campaign, how to get involved. Is that still proceeding, or is that dead?
Absolutely. We have, in fact, we have a whole department, diversity department, that has outreach events constantly every few months where they reach out to new vendors. They have seminars, have them in, try to get them, actually help them fill out the paperwork, get approved. So it's a constant effort to bring new vendors, especially small businesses, into the work for the district.
And Michael.
Is that working?
It is.
Jasper, who's being awarded this, if this goes through, is a small business with the district.
Yeah.
Michael, you heard that?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, fine.
Move to go forward.
Have a second? Second by Sam. Any other questions, comments? All right, Dorothy Polis, please.
David Porter,
Yes.
John Cheshire,
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no. I think my reason is the CM could have done a better job on getting more bids.
Michael Gelfand,
No.
Michael Guida,
Yes.
Sam Shannon,
Yes.
Virginia Ferris.
Yes.
So we have 4 yeses and 2 nos.
Okay. Michael, your comment's the same as John's, that CM should have done a more thorough job on getting more bids?
I don't know if I would phrase it in that way, but yes, the lack of bids and the expense for supervision.
Okay.
I appreciate you trying to phrase it there. But by the way, only 6 members present. Is that a quorum? I don't know if I want to break a quorum.
Yes,
It
but
is.
there
it
was
is
sufficient-
quorum.
Good. All right, thank you.
Holly's nodding her head as the legal authority of the meeting, so we have a quorum.
Fantastic.
All right, we are up to, let's see, PC2. John pulled it and I pulled it. John,
Okay. Dorothy, if you could go to your responses again.
Go to where?
Questions. It's the last item on the last next page. Right there, yeah. This one bothered me just because you can see my comment. It's a Miami-Dade based CM. This is a $6.6 million contract. And he only had 7 bidders from Palm Beach County. And he awarded 2 of the work, the survey and the sod replacement, $44,000. So $6 million of the $6.6 million contract went to Miami-Dade based contractor. And again, I just felt he should do a better job of getting Palm Beach County bidders. The response I received, it said he advertised and extended bids to 700 bidders from Palm Beach County. I don't know where that information came from, but that's highly suspect in my mind. And the last comment there under the answers, it says, according to the evaluation scoring methods of the district, companies in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade counties are all considered local companies. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I didn't ask that question. I just wanted to know about Palm Beach County subcontractors should be bidding the work more. CM needs to do a better job of getting bidders from Palm Beach County. It's Palm Beach County taxpayers' money, and it's all going to Miami-Dade, and I think that's wrong. That's my comment.
John, I can appreciate that, but I think that's a board issue to deal with, because if the board has said that Palm Beach, Broward, Miami-Dade are all equal playing field, we can provide our commentary to the board saying we think that should change to provide more prevalence to Palm Beach County. But, I don't think the CM did anything wrong if that's the allowable policy.
Right. Well, David, that brings up a good point. I remember last year, early in the year, we were discussing small businesses, and Mr. Sanchez was in on that presentation, and he said at that time that the board had asked him to review local preference. And I was going to ask, whatever became of that, what is being done about that?
Holly has her hand raised in the room, so I'll let Holly answer that.
Just to update you, Governor DeSantis signed a bill, which is now law, which prohibits the use of local preferences. So I think that the discussion on whether or not we can geographically limit bidders or provide them preference, unfortunately, now the state has stepped in and is preventing us from doing that, even where the funds are coming directly from us and not state funds.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for that information. But the fact remains, I think that the CM could be encouraged to at least get bids at least get some Palm Beach County bidders. He got 7 bids on this project. He needs to do a better job.
Well, I look at it too, of callbacks. I mean, you got 2 doorknobs that fall off. The carpenter's not going to come from Miami to fix that. Yeah, it still falls on the CM, but, local gets things fixed. All right, the question I had on this is more general and for staff. I noticed on 2 of the GMPs, the contractor's fee was kind of slightly different percentages. Do we have a restriction, or is there something in our contracts or the RFPs that tells the CM what the percentage is for their fees? Or is it a negotiated thing? And
It's negotiated. It's not in the RFP, but we have a guideline that we use internally about basically how complex the project is, the dollar value of the project, that we keep it in rails. And we do that on every project.
And when do we know what, for instance, if we got to the GMP and a CM wanted to charge 25% for the fee, which is high, would we then say no?
Yes.
Go to somebody else? But that's already wasted so much time.
It is. We haven't run into that problem because we've been consistent, and most of our vendors we work with often enough that they know they're going to get a reasonable fee. We don't nickel and dime them. They get a fair fee, but we keep it within the range, and that's it. And if they decide not to go forward, then they don't.
Yeah, I noticed 2 of them were 13%.
We've come close on a couple, but they've all came back in line.
Okay. The 2 today, one was 13% roughly, and another one was 16%.
On the fee.
Seemed like that, no?
No.
One said 13%, right on their GMP.
Which one?
I think it was on PC2. No, PC3. Yeah, PC2. If I go to the GMP, right on their line item they have on their GMP.
So we do have the 2 different.
Construction phase fee, 13.81%.
Construction phase fee is staffing. That's not
That's the staffing.
profit fee.
So we do look at the phase fee as well. So the fee is the overhead and profit, which we have a range on. And then the phase fee is the staffing, which we look at on every project, and that has to fit in range. And the staffing, we look at a couple different ways.
Okay.
One from a percentage, and mainly we look at a cost per week of that project, of how many staff they have. Because some contractors like to have a little bit more heavy in the management and heavier on the superintendent. And as long as it fits in that range and it's appropriate for the project, then that's what we look at. So
In other
we look
words,
at
it's
a
very
cost
well
per week.
scrutinized.
It is.
Okay, that answers my question. That's fine. All right, anything else on PC2?
Move to
just
go
one-
forward.
Wanted to thank John on catching that. And it's unfortunate that we have another new law that preempts local decision-making. And I think it's important as we look forward and as we speak to our legislators, we point out to them, on one hand, we have these proclamations that so-called big government is bad and we need to let people locally make their decisions. And they are ripping control from us on a constant basis. In some ways, this is another, if you would, unfunded mandate. Thank you.
Very good comment, Michael. Move to go
Dang it.
forward. Move to go
Okay.
forward.
Yep, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Sam. Any other comments, questions? All right, Paulus Dorothy?
David Porter,
Yes.
John Cheshire,
No.
Michael Gelfand,
Yes.
Michael Guida,
Yes.
Sam Shannon,
Yes.
Virginia Ferris.
Yes.
So we have 5 yeses and 1 no.
John, I'm assuming your comment is because CM didn't get enough Palm Beach County coverage?
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay. And Dorothy, when you do your report, we typically let the board know what the dissenting vote comment was so that they're aware of that.
Yep.
Okay. PC3 was accepted. I had pulled PC4. I know this is a renewal, but I thought we typically had 3 civil engineers, 3 structural engineers, 3 architects, all that stuff. And there's only 2 on this one to be renewed. Did somebody drop out or did we?
They retired.
Oh, okay, that'll do it. Retirement does it.
This isn't actually a renewal. You'll see the
Oh.
renewal next month. This is
Oh.
just a request for additional funds.
Oh, okay.
We're running low on the approved contract amount.
When we get a retirement like that, do we reach out and add somebody else so that we still have 3 to pick from?
We discussed it with facilities construction and to see what their needs were coming up, and they felt that it was sufficient to
Two was
have the
enough.
2 that we have.
Okay. That's all I had on this one. Somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move forward.
All right, need a second? Second by Sam.
Porter,
Yes.
John Cheshire,
Yes.
Michael Gelfand,
Yes.
Michael Guida,
Yes.
Sam Shannon,
Yes.
Virginia Ferris.
Yes.
Okay, in progress work, Michael.
Okay, in progress work, if we can scroll a little bit. That's our total dollar value that we track every month that we're putting out. We're doing a lot of projects right now. There are a lot of small projects. You can keep scrolling, Dorothy, thank you. As you can see, most of those red ones, so those are all under our CCNAs and term vendors that we have and are under 4, under 2 contracts. So we have a lot of those coming up. That's the GMPs. And same thing, we have quite a few GMPs coming up over the next few months. And those are basically aligning to start construction after the summer, but they'll go into next summer. So they'll get a lot of the work done during the school year where they can. And then the bulk of it, they'll finish up over the next summer. So we're already thinking a year ahead here. Development, that's just the design items that go along with what we just showed there. So you can scroll through that. Keep going. These are ongoing facility renewals. We have quite a few going on. As we mentioned, this is a bulk of our summer work, really pushing on these to get done. Some of them are finishing up, some are just getting going. You see there's a lot of them. Facility renewals, here are just some pictures of that same work that we have. Just, you can see the type of work that we do, exhaust fans, painting, that kind of stuff. Parking lots, restroom renovations, ADA work.
All the really exciting stuff.
It is, but yeah, it makes a huge difference on the schools.
Oh, yes.
You can see some new flooring going in there. Some ceiling work, mechanical work. Our potential newest elementary school that we just started out West Acreage, they've broken ground. They're starting with the foundations and they had to do some soil remediation out there, and that's completed. And they've actually started doing the footings. You can see some of the pictures of that.
Did they have to demuck the whole site?
They didn't. There was a little pocket down like 12, 13 feet that had about 1 foot of organic material. So they had to water inject it and do some stone columns. So
all right.
It wasn't too bad. All things considered, the soil was actually really good out there. It just had that one pocket. And just to be safe than sorry, we did that remediation. But as you can see, it's a really clean site. There's nothing around it. The area around the 2 sides of it will be a county park. In the future, they haven't, I don't know when they're going to start that work. And to the north is the Arden community. But we had our groundbreaking. I think Dave reported on that last time, but you can see on the right some of the foundation work that they're already getting going on, some of the underground. They're moving along because it's scheduled to be open next year. So 25, I should say. Grove Park is, they have a TCO on the main building and they're just trying to finalize the TCO on the addition. That's those extra classrooms on the east side. But that'll definitely be open this year. They're starting to move stuff in. And
Yeah, we moved everything last week and we're having actually summer camp start there next week. So it'll be soft launched with the summer program.
Good move.
For the next few weeks.
So we're excited to have that one up and running.
Yeah, it turned out really nice.
So Pine Grove, we will have this open this year in August. So we're really coming down to the wire on this one. 3 different new buildings. If you remember, this is the one where the kids are on site, not now in the summer, but they're housed in an old building and they'll move into this building in August. and then we'll come back and tear down the old building. But this is just wrapping up. We're doing flooring, we're doing ceiling work, just trying to get things wrapped up. All the little stuff at the end takes a lot of time with, data connections and security and all that kind of stuff that has to get wrapped in there. So we're really pushing hard to get this one done, but we do expect to have this done for August.
So the main building will be done for August. The donut will still be there and you'll demo that later?
Yes, buildings 1, 2, and 3 will be done. That's the main building, and then the 2 buildings next to it. Yeah, those will all be done for the school year, and then the donut will be demolished after.
During school year?
Yes.
Okay. So the kids get to look out their windows and watch heavy equipment and demolition.
Yeah, it's a good learning lesson.
Future CMs in the making.
Windbrook is moving right along. We have the slabs being poured now. So all the underground's in. And again, that one's working feverishly to get done, but that's going to be another 12 months to get that one done, 15 months, I believe. As you see, they're getting going. There is an existing building there. You can see on the right that they're renovating. So this one, the students are housed off-site, and then they will come back when this is finished. So they're at a holding school. Just more foundation work, as you can see. Or in early morning, that's what happens. West Riv, we're excited that this project's able to move forward. They're getting mobilized now, and we're going to start work on this one. Those students have been, next year will be in a holding school at Lincoln. So we're able to move forward and start demo work here shortly. Delray Full Service, they have a TCO in the buildings. They're using the space. They had to come back and doing some sprinkler work after the fact. So they're doing some final little touches on it, but they are open and running on the building. Work on all the buildings using them. Roosevelt, they're working forward. They're doing demo in the gym. The new construction, new buildings are getting going. We did run into a snag with the lead paint, which we're having to go get some costing work on. So there was a little bit of a miscommunication of who was going to handle that between the CM and the district. So we're having to go out and get some bids. It's pretty extensive. It's all the exterior paint of the gymnasium we're having to go through. So we're getting our remediation contractors to give us quotes on that. We have several people bidding that work. That slowed us down in the gym a little bit, but the new buildings are going forward. So hopefully we'll be able to catch back up on that since it's an existing building. But you can see the demo work kind of cleaned out. Those 2 buildings, you can see they're stripped down and moving forward.
You had a shot of the latest Habitat house in that last
Yep,
shot.
we did. We were able to convey that corner piece of property over to the district. So now we own that property on the corner. So that took a little bit of time as well. Seminole Trail, so we're working, it's essentially done. They're doing the punch list. We're working with the Department of Health to approve the kitchen so that we can take down the serving line. This is one of our summer school sites. So there's 700 students going to school all summer. So we didn't take down the temporary serving line until we get the full approval on the final serving line. So they are able to use some of the spaces. They can't use the permanent serving line until the other ones, until they get approval on that. So in the meantime, they're using the temporary serving line they've been using for a year now and keeping that going. But at some point during the summer, we'll make that transition and that project will be closed out. Timber Trace is complete, just doing some punch list, finally complete on that one. So that project looks really good. That was the core expansion that we added to the cafeteria, the kitchen. We did some work, moved the coolers outside. We added to the egress components and the, what's it called, the nurse area, the clinic. Minor projects, this is what Dorothy's been doing 30 years. She's no,
Took her that long to get all these done?
that's just a sampling too. We had just have a ton of minor projects going on that she handles and manages and does a great job with. So that's some of the work that we do. That's the one pavilion out in KE Cunningham. That's in Canal Point. So that's a standalone pavilion with some restrooms in it and the outside behind the elementary school. So you can see, even though it's called a minor project, it's a full building. It's a new ground up project. So there's some work that's pretty extensive. See restroom work, some new water heaters going on. Boca Raton, Boca Raton had a field house that was a shell. So we went in there and built it out for the school this year, added air conditioning, water heaters, restrooms, that kind of thing. So that'll be great for the upcoming football season. And that's it. Is there any questions on ongoing work?
Who's got the hand? Virginia.
Hi there. I'm assuming that the Boundaries Committee will be meeting in the fall to do boundaries for the new West acreage.
Yes, they will be meeting. We just got a principal assigned this week, actually. So they'll be involved. And yeah, there's a regular cycle that they look at that every year, and that will be involved. They have a pretty good idea who's going to be going there, but they will go through the process and do that.
Okay, I have been on the Boundaries Committee. I'm going to assume I'm still on it. I'm wondering when they will get the schedule out.
I'll ask Chris. I don't know if Chris and Jason, if one of them are on the call, the timing of it. If not, we can follow up with you and get you an answer.
All right. And I had one other question. Last month, we talked about the refrigerator in the high school media centers. I wonder if next month you can just show us a picture of how those media centers are laid out with the refrigerator and the lounge aspect.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Question I've got, I think the new law went into effect for the increase in CCNA. Have we come up with a plan yet of how we're going to address that to not necessarily have to put out as many selection committees?
It was decided that we're going to leave it the way it is. I don't know exactly who came up with that, but it
Okay.
told me that's the way it is. So I'm good
All
with
right.
it.
Okay. Chris Garrison, I see you're on. Do you have any answers for Virginia about Boundary Committee?
Yes, I was having trouble unmuting my mic. I apologize. Virginia, your timing for your question is impeccable. Yesterday, the superintendent reappointed you to the ABC. And of course, we would have been surprised if he didn't. You're one of our long-term, most valued members. So to answer your question about timing, we are spending the summer working on potential boundary scenarios. As Michael mentioned, we have a fairly good idea of at least where the bulk of the students will be coming from. But of course, as you know, Virginia, we will be going through the whole ABC process as prescribed in policy. Typically, we'd like to wait until the October FTE just to have the most recent demographics. We update our studies, and so we would expect the ABC to be meeting somewhere around that time frame.
Thank you. That helps me plan my September trip.
Oh, well, remember, you can participate remotely wherever you are.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry about the mic delay.
That's okay. Thanks, Chris. Okay, any other questions for Michael on updates? Okay, any other discussion items by CORC members? All right, date of the next meeting is on your agenda, July 11th. Any issues with minutes, Virginia?
They were very good.
Okay, well, Judd did those this month, so we'll be back to Dorothy.
I think Judge should do them every month. I never got it very good.
Mr. Sanchez.
Hey, sorry, I haven't been able to chime in because we got another meeting going on here at the superintendent has another meeting going on. But before we break up, I also wanted to add my congratulations to Dorothy and her 30 years of service with the district. So she's been invaluable. And, we can't do half of what we do without her. So really do appreciate your work.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay,
Hooray,
thank you.
Hooray for Dorothy.
That's right. That's right. All right, anything we want specific for staff to bring back for the next meeting? If not, you can always email Dorothy if you think of something that needs to have follow-up.
We'll bring you some media center pictures, though.
Yeah, put that on the list. And we had a follow-up list. Have we gone through to whittle away at that list?
We have.
Okay.
And Mr. Porter, this is Leanne. We do have
Yeah.
the capital plan done. So we'll be bringing that back to the next meeting for you as well.
Okay, you can put that down your hit list, Dorothy.
Okay. So, yes, the follow-up list is,
Getting down there. Okay,
it's updated and it's attached to the agenda, so.
very good. All right, anything by anybody else? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Getting time off for good behavior.
Obviously
Good job, Michael.
Or was it a 35-year sentence and you got 5 years off?